Hello and welcome to another Mystic Frequency Tarot reading. In this reading, we're going to talk about what does December hold for me, for you. Whether you find this reading in May or in June, wherever you may find this reading, your spirit guides may have some important information within these piles that may resonate to you. But before we get into December, I hope y'all had a really good recent holiday, especially if you celebrate Thanksgiving. So December is the 12th month, and it has 31 days, which some of you probably already know. Or if you are like me, you have to pull out the calendar to figure out when the last day ends in a month. It's the shortest, it'll have the shortest day of the year, known as the winter solstice, and it occurs around December 21st or 22nd. In the southern hemisphere, if you didn't know, that's when December will start. So like when we have summer here, on the other side of the world, it'll be winter there, if that makes sense. The Geminid shower is very active during this month, so if you're interested in stargazing, you'll get to see a really spectacular display where you'll see all these Geminid showers coming through. The full moon in December is called the cold moon. And December, the actual month's name, comes from the Latin word decem, which means 10 from the Roman calendar. Some zodiac signs for this month is Sagittarius, and it'll occur through December 21st. Then Capricorn will come into play around December 22nd, and that's where it'll start. Birthstones that December has traditionally is turquoise. It is also zircon, tanzanite. The birth flowers are holly and narcissus. And if you didn't know this, in some traditions, spiders and spider webs are considered symbols of good luck on Christmas Day. So I'm excited for this reading. So there are 3 piles to choose from. Only take what resonates and leave what doesn't for someone to find, or share the information if it applies to someone around you. Because this is a reading further down the road, your wheel and vehicle are yours to drive and steer. Nothing is set in stone. It takes action and open-mindedness with willingness to accomplish anything in this current existence. When we break down each pile's reading, we're going to focus on the energy for the month, which will be these blue cards that you see in the background. We're going to break down each week with the Rider-Waite Tarot cards. We're going to have a crystal card for each week. Now you only see the first week's, so that's going to help you pull you in, so that way you're able to tell whether or not this is for you. Spirit Animal Oracle cards for each week. We will then do word scramble insights for each week within your month, and then charms for each week. So by the time we get to the board, when everything is all cleared out, you're going to see a whole bunch of things kind of like available to you. So before we jump in our reading, let's go ahead and set benevolent intentions so that way we're getting the right information in and the right insight. And take some really good breathing breaths. So, benevolent spirit guides, ancestors, divine creator, and the highest good versions of ourselves we can become. Please help guide messages that are meant to be received and to help those to only take what resonates with them currently. Help others find their stars so they may be in alignment with their purpose and pursuit of happiness, and navigate the spiritual and physical world. Help others find the spark that will bring in more abundance and prosperity. Thank you for your unlimited energy and resources that will help us today. Much appreciated. With much love, your teachers and students. All right, let's go ahead and take some breathing if you didn't already do that with the benevolent intention set. So let's do one big breath in. Breathe it out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more. All right, if you are ready to choose your pile, go right ahead over to the timestamp. Or if you feel called to multiple piles, there may be multiple messages for you within those piles. And go ahead and jump into those. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into pile 1. Hi, Pile One. Hopefully you didn't have to watch from the intro all to the point when I was getting all the cards arranged, but if you did, thank you for your patience. Let's go ahead and look at the energy for this month. For y'all have Chiron, hurt and heal. Now, don't let that discourage you. That's not all this is going to talk about. It actually leads to something really beautiful. So Chiron illuminates feelings about challenges, spiritual injuries, feelings of hopelessness. It's the Achilles heel that triggers the fight or flight response. It's here where you will be called to look in your mirror's reflection to see who is keeping what illuminates the hurting and what prevents the healing from coming in. It's not the world around you, my dear, that carries the weapon of self-destruction. That's not what this card is telling you. Don't deny these truths, or you will deny yourself growth. Abandoning Chiron will cause repetitive cycles around your area of wounding. Chiron only wants acceptance and wants you to put your sword down. So if you haven't picked up what I was just saying, this is saying that this is not a hurt that is coming around you, these feelings that are coming in. This is something that you yourself are doing. An example of this is, I will use lots of references probably from anime shows, but only because it comes through and it applies to the situation that we're talking about. If you have seen Naruto, the animated series, you may not be a fan. That is all right. I'm not a big fan. I just happened to watch it whenever I was growing up and my brothers were real big into it. My son is actually real big into it, so it's like rewatching everything that my family kind of watched when we were around the TV. In the animated show and series, Naruto has this character that appears. His name is Itachi. Itachi has this powerful genjutsu power called Tsukuyomi. When he uses this power, it traps the victim in a mental illusion. And in the real world, only a moment will pass. But within that illusion, it feels like days, if not years, of physical and psychological intense torment. Chiron is allowing you to come in and see how you may be using the Tsukuyomi effect on yourself to keep you in this state of constant hurt without any kind of healing coming in. So have you cast the Tsukuyomi on yourself? Because you are the caster. You can break the genjutsu. Memories will always be a source of the wound, but accepting what you cannot change, the past, you gain freedom from its grip. It allows you to have more self-compassion for yourself and to have empathy for others. It helps others break their own Tsukuyomis. When you are able to take Chiron's lesson, you become the wounded healer and a teacher of wisdom. What dooming trait do you consider a fatal flaw when you're looking in the mirror? How can you practice owning and loving anything you consider a flaw? How can you become perfectly imperfect? How can you wear bumps and bruises, the mental and physical battle scars, with pride? This is a superpower. And the month of December, with all of the emotions, all of the collective feelings that are going on, Chiron is going to illuminate a lot of this out there. A lot of things that we have not allowed ourselves to process and heal. And you're given the opportunity to do this month while you are surrounded by many people you love and care about, or even give you that extra push to go and get extra help if you need it. Or even in this video, allow you to gain some wisdom so that way you may be able to heal. So let's go ahead and get into your weeks. So this will be week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Let's get into week 1. We have the Page of Cups, upright. We have creative opportunities available to us because Chiron is coming in and lighting up this part of you that you may have pushed aside, or even if you were someone very creative but you weren't able to show your artwork, and maybe you hid that part of yourself. Chiron is saying not to hide the things that used to light you up, especially if somebody said something about the things you created. It's about taking in the intuitive messages that you may be seeing, because as you can see and hear, something has caught his attention from above. Something came in and lit up a new opportunity for him or her. This is not gender-based. This is whoever the reading may be for. The Page of Cups is also like that childlike energy that comes in. It's that inner doodle that you may have done when you were a child. In December, you will see lots of artwork displayed. A lot of cards are made. So maybe you want to make a Christmas card or a holiday card for those around you. Or even hang up your own paintings for the holiday that bring in that sense of joy that, the Page of Cups feels. It's all about the curiosity. It's all about the possibilities. And you're no longer looking at what's in your cup. You're looking at everything else that's around you, things that are inspiring you to do so. Use this month, this first week, to delve into your creativity and self-expression without allowing the inner critic to overshadow the process. Look in this background, how dark it is. Now imagine that this is your inner critic, but you are full of light and color, as you can see, in everything you stand on. And there's this journey this week where you're going to be able to do that. So now that we kind of looked at that, let's look at the crystal to help you with this week. Cinnabar. Manifestation, wealth, inspiration. Known as the alchemist's stone, cinnabar is a crystal used to enhance metaphysical abilities, call in abundance, and manifest your heart's desire. Cinnabon, you may want a cinnamon roll. That actually sounds really good. If you heard this and you're like, oh, I'm getting a cinnamon roll this week. Cinnabar's name originated from the Persian word meaning dragon's blood and refers to the tiny red gems sprinkled across the stone. The crystal is powerful in enhancing your life force, giving you the stamina you need to carry out your tasks and go after the things that can feel larger than life. Cinnabar grounds and encourages you while you reach beyond what you believed was possible. So all of these things that you can manifest are there and available to you. And if you look inside You see these gems, these red gems, and you may have been called to this card because of the gems that were within it. Whatever lights you up and helps you create whatever emotionally fulfills you, this is the week to allow yourself to explore that aspect of yourself. And the animal oracle that is going to help you on this journey is a swan. They're known for grace. You who glides across the waters of my soul, bring me your wisdom and light. Help me transform into elegance and grace. Inspire me with dignity and the spirit of beauty. You see beauty all around you. And Chiron here is asking you, can you see the beauty within yourself and the things that you create, the things that make you light up? Because there are others around you that you do that for. You bring that grace to everyone and they feel that with you. So in week 1, let's create something. Something, and it could even be a Christmas tree. It could be a snowman. I drew one today and I was very happy with my snowman or snow woman. I even gave it a little witch hat. And maybe you like to turn things a little bit differently than what normal people are used to seeing. Whatever inspires you, go ahead and create it this week. For week 2, we have the Knight of Wands upright. So week 1, you had this creative expression kind of come through. And that in itself gave you a lot of energy and more passion and inspiration to take action on even more things that you wanted to create around you, and goals. Like this gave you more goals to look for because you started to feel really good about what it is that you were doing. You were allowing that part of yourself that was hurt and wounded to break off, so that way you can create even more things around you. And it may have even made you feel a little bit more adventurous, because the Knight of Wands is all about adventure. Maybe you decided to go to a museum. Maybe you took your family out in nature. It may be kind of cold, but the world around you just felt more alive. Even if you may see snow, you've seen life within the snow. You've seen what burrowed in the snow. And it really kind of like helped you be a little bit more impulsive in a good way. Maybe you were off the side and you were worried about actually taking action. But here you gained momentum, you gained energy this second week. So you're able to charge ahead with this creative project. This night takes away your distractions, all these, this background, the inner critic. He's taking you from that. Look forward and create again. He's looking back. He's seen this energy that you created. And he's saying, hey, keep going. Keep this momentum going. Now, this individual may be yourself. These may be your parts of yourself that are just starting to come out. What hypnotized you to look at the dancing fish? What hypnotized you to only stay and look at this cup? And the Knight here is breaking that hypnotism that you may have found. And I liked looking at this image when I was first channeling this reading, because something caught his eye, something came from above and it caught his attention. And it's almost like he's seen the Knight of Wands leaping up with his staff. And he's like, wow, that's cool. What he's doing is so cool. And you are no longer entertaining what's within your cup only. You see that there is something else around you that you can create. And the Knight of Wands is reminding you, keep looking at everything else around you. Don't go within this background. Don't lose yourself within the noise. Your comfort zones are easy to leap over. So imagine these pyramids or these sand dunes in the background. This is how little your comfort zone was. And then it kept rising and rising. And in week 2, you're able to go out of that comfort zone and leap over it. You can push personal limitations aside. Maybe even throw the water they poured in your cup. Whoever poured this dark liquid in your cup, you're going to be able to pour it out, or even prove them wrong, pour it back in their face by allowing yourself to exist and present yourselves through creative expression, whether you start dressing a little bit differently. Maybe you decide to be this night, I'm going all out with what I'm wearing because that's how I express myself. And I don't need anyone around me to determine how I should dress or look. And even if you can't travel physically with the Knight of Wands energy, you can still create an adventure of spontaneity through your hobbies. Especially if you like to write, you can create your own adventure. You can create your own character and live through that character, through the adventure you give them. So this energy is going to help you really take a hold of that creativity and charge with it even further than you thought. Let's look at the crystal to help kind of channel that. So we have labradorite, and I love the colors in here. Transformation, magic, imagination, a stone of transition. Labradorite assists in times of change and transformation. It expands our connection with the universe, unlocking the third eye and all the wonder that lies beyond the physical realm, as well as your magical powers. Labradorite evokes the magic we all have, reminding us to wield our power by going within and connecting to the core truths of who we are. Chase after your dreams and align yourself with the vibration of anything is possible, an energy labradorite is all too familiar with. And the animal that will be assisting you here is the snow leopard. Self-reliance. You are strongly independent and often solitary. Integrity is important for your best outcome. Cloak yourself with invisibility and walk with the shamans. Use your intuition and let your life unfold in silent perfection. If you have to go within in order to help with any kind of hurting or any kind of self-limiting beliefs or these inner critics that came from outer critics around you that you've held, allow yourself to go within and give yourself the opportunity to let your life unfold in silent perfection. You don't need to let everyone know what is going on around you. People will just start to see you smile a little bit more, grin when you have this idea come into your mind that you want to see created. And if you are a writer, you don't need someone else to read it. You can just write it for your own pure joy. Whatever makes you happy. So let's go ahead and get into week 3. Week 3, by you building upon this creation, this energy that comes into week 2, you will feel so protected around you that your goals can't be diminished, if that makes sense. It's 8 of Wands, it's mastery, action, it's accomplishment. You started to see what it is that you created, and now you've accomplished something. And that inspires even more energy to keep going further. Eight of Wands is movement. It's very fast-paced change. Because if you were working on anything that you needed to heal these blocks from previous months, all of a sudden you're able to obtain even more inspiration. You're able to plan goals that you're able to actually accomplish. And you can feel that. And it allows you to see if you are in alignment. And this Eight of Wands can even talk about maybe you didn't just stay at home. Maybe you stayed at home. And then as you grew more confident and you jumped over these comfort zones that you were within, and then you actually took a step outside, and now you see all of these things that are going around you, and now you want to take off in the air. Maybe you want to travel further away than you have ever did before. You want to go further than the beach. Maybe you want to go to the Egyptian pyramids. Maybe you want to go somewhere that just brings more of that inspiration within you, that awe and wonder, that childlike exploration feel. The Indiana Jones, if you so will. So maybe you're planning something really big and you needed to let that idea build, so you had the energy to plan for it, and then you took action on it, and now you're in the air with it. If there were any stalled projects or endeavors, they will be picking up at a great speed. But I can tell here that there hasn't been very many obstacles. The only obstacle you may have been realizing was yourself. And as soon as you took yourself out of the picture as an obstacle, you were able to really set things at a really fast pace and manifest anything that was around you. You will be able to tackle these tasks that you've been procrastinating on. Maybe you had a home that was cluttered and you weren't able to create because you didn't know where your artwork was. Maybe you didn't know where all your paper and your pen was. Maybe your printer wasn't set up and you needed to get it linked so that way you can have things printed off, or have things, you're actually starting an actual story now and you want to be able to print that story off so that way you have a physical copy. All of these things, or these tasks that were around you, become effortless now. You're able to put pen to paper. Confront these challenges, especially if you are the challenge, and allow yourself this week to continue setting up a routine to support this productivity. Focus and determination is key for this month, for this week especially, because new possibilities and opportunities are going to drive by, fly in, or just appear unexpectedly. And you want to make sure you're ready and you're able to take whatever comes your way. You want to have room for it. And by giving yourself room, you're able to leave that comfort zone and really challenge yourself in ways that you never expected. Practice self-belief and confidence this week, really in each of these weeks, because as you see, you are building and growing into something that isn't just going to be put on paper here this month. Let's look at your crystal channel for this week. And we have pyrite. Pyrite is luck, prosperity, and success. The gold standard when it comes to crystals. Pyrite attracts abundance, wealth, and prosperity. Known as fool's gold, pyrite encourages you to follow your dreams and envision your desires. Manifesting powers are high with this crystal is at play. Pyrite has that spark, literally. Pyrite can create fire when struck against another stone or metal. and is believed to contain the element of fire in its core. Pyrite also acts as a powerful protector, shielding you from negativity and protecting the integrity of your aura. Strike fast and don't look back. And I love pyrite. I actually have that right here in this. And when I hold it, it's such a heavy stone, but it is so beautiful. And if you can imagine any negativity just being taken away from you, that's what this is good for. I'd rather have fool's gold than actual gold. I'm going to actually leave that here, so that way you can feel that energy come through. The animal for this month is puffin, partnership. Accept yourself and your colorful personality. Feel confident about being you. You are a joy bringer. Let your community nourish and protect you. Ask for help. Teamwork will give you the best results. If you had these tasks around you, or these goals or projects that you were trying to manifest, whether you were at work or at home, allow others to come in. So that way, if you had a deadline and you wanted to get up in the air and see your family, by working together or even bringing in more assistance outside your work zone, you will be able to accomplish a lot more sooner. If you felt worried about being able to ask for that help, maybe this Knight of Wands is coming in as another individual around you, and they see that you're kind of looking at your cup and you don't want to go any further with it, because what's in that cup is a lot that you have to do. By bringing in this inspiration and in this help that you need, everything just starts to fall in place like it should. And this puffin partnership, this could be your own partner that you have that is going to be able to kind of help you see this energy that you may have been working with, and help you work through that energy. And by working on yourself and working on your goals, you become even more magnetic and may bring even more type of people like this. Inspire more people to become more Knight of Wands, especially if you go from page to a knight instantly. People are going to ask, what did you do? How did you get there? And that was by going within and basically preventing yourself from being the block. So week 4, the last week of December, we have the Two of Swords in reverse. And when Two of Swords is in reverse, there could be moments of indecision, maybe some confusion. Maybe there's a lot of information overloaded, or you're at a point where you finally accomplished a lot of things and now you're at a stalemate. The number 2 talks about balance, partnership, and duality. Maybe there is information that hasn't revealed itself yet, and Spirit is asking you to come in and really think about the options that are there before you. At the beginning of the month, we had this creative inspiration, and then we watched and seen how it manifested and allowed us to take off from the ground. And then this last week, we're asking ourselves, what's next? What will the next month have for me? Especially when it concerns relationships, anything that has to do with balance or aligning more harmony in your life. And this card can really talk about if you feel like you're transitioning between two worlds, whether it be jobs, maybe by you showing yourself out there the way you have been this month, it brings in another relationship. And so you have this whole nother energy, and you're unsure of what January may look like? How are you going to carry this energy into the next month with this relationship? Or because of this inspiration, you discovered you enjoyed creating and want to make this a job for yourself. Maybe you want to leave the company that you're working in, or maybe there's a branch within the company you're interested in. This leader, this could be a manager that came in and seen this creative side to you and is offering you an opportunity to take another position. But this position wasn't going to be available till the next month. And so you're weighing these pros and cons of, should I take this position? Or should I stay and allow myself to grow with what I'm currently working on, especially if you want to work on yourself? And I encourage that. Always put yourself first when it concerns working. You could also be in the middle of a move, because I see a lot of action kind of coming through, and that's probably why this Eight of Wands came through. You needed a lot of help in order to get this move in place, but you didn't want to do it in the middle of December. You wanted to wait till January to start this move, because you may have had a lot of family come in, a lot of air traveling going through. Finances may have not been the smart thing to do currently for this. So at the end of the month, you're given this opportunity to step away from all this action and decide what it is that you want to work on. And if you were within a relationship, maybe there was this tough spot in an argument with someone that you cared about. Maybe you visited with family, friends, or this was your significant other and y'all had an argument. Said things you didn't actually mean. And Chiron is going to be able to illuminate, so that way you don't continue feeling hurt by what someone said. It allows you to, maybe I was overreacting, or maybe there was a lot of stressors going around the people that were around me, and they didn't mean to say the things that they said. And this could be you as well. Maybe you didn't mean to say something because you had a lot going on, and then you started to feel kind of burnt out from it. Deal with conflicts directly with clear communication. Think about what you want to say before you say it, so you don't say something you regret. Especially when you start to say things like, I shouldn't have to keep my eye on you to do what needs to be done. And this could be you looking at yourself saying, I shouldn't have to constantly keep an eye on you for the well-being of ourselves. I don't want to see what unfolds. Prevent yourself from saying that. I need to trust my intuition, so I will blindfold myself, because not all is what it seems. And when I say that, I mean, if you can't trust the things that you're seeing currently because you're not in a good emotional state, allow yourself to ground and take in your senses, all 5 senses. What you see, what you hear, what you feel, taste, touch. I named more senses than actual 5, but really allow yourself to ground and see what it is within you, what it is saying. Tell yourself, I have the wisdom now and can tackle anything blindfolded. And you can rest while you contemplate which tool will help you make more decisions, will be able to be more effective. The previous weeks in Chiron's teaching allows you to avoid your own Tsukuyomi. And Tsukuyomi, if I say it right in Japanese, is the god of the moon and night, and the name means moon reading. And this is going to allow you to see more abundance around you, more people to come in and help and assist you, and really make you feel like you are more abundant now, because you can go within and find the tools that you need for whatever task is before you. And before we jump for. And what I love about this is it allows you to separate yourself from the ground in an effective way, where the ground is your subconscious and you're going within, because that is where you're pulling in insightful information or things that you need to work and heal on. This lets you decide what's in your hands and what you're willing to accomplish or fight for. So the card or the crystal for this channeled week is emerald. Spring, unity, vitality. Lush and reminiscent of the green of spring, emerald is known as the stone of successful love, stimulating loyalty, partnership, and friendship. Emerald opens the heart chakra, healing the auric field with unconditional love, hope, and joy. With exuberance and a lust for life, the emerald is a sign for new beginnings and a fresh step in life. Radiating health, prosperity, and vitality. Grow in the direction of your dreams and nurture yourself along the way. You deserve the riches that life has to offer you. And the animal that we're going to use for this week is the sea turtle, and you may love turtles. The sea turtle is protection. You are a master of finding life's flow. Be in harmony with the rhythm, and your path will unfold. Persevere, and you will succeed. You have everything you need to be protected and happy, especially when you decide to start protecting yourself from yourself by practicing more mindfulness. And that could be what it is you're guarding yourself against, is your thoughts. This background darkness, this inner critic, this energy of self-inhibition, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and jump into your Scrabbles. And I'm going to try to get the words out here so they're not jumbling all over each other. So if you will be very patient with me, and I will go ahead and put your charms out so you can kind of see what each week's charm has for you. I should probably do 1 week at a time so you aren't waiting for a whole pile. You're not waiting in the background. So this week, going back to this week, because I believe to build on something, you got to remind yourself of the first step that you took. So your Scrabble word that I got was roar. And you were at one point looking at what was in this cup, and it was constantly dancing within your mind. And you heard this loud awakening almost, this loud presence come in, who scared what was in your cup out of it. Literally scared the pee out of fish. And it allowed you to take a break and see something else. And this ring right here shows us, there is a brighter rainbow. We have to be willing and promise ourselves that we're going to forgive ourselves for the things that we did or didn't do. We have to be able to forgive ourselves. And the Colosseum or the Colosseo Roma, the challenges, the things that make us have to prove our worth, the things that we put ourselves on the defending side. We can see in the background of this Colosseum how it's starting to crumble. Things that we put around us as a block or a wall that we wanted to protect ourselves with are no longer serving us, and now we are leaping over these walls. The rose. So imagine you're this rose, and the energies that were around you that caused you to put up this wall, even though they're starting to crumble and you are more self-expressive outside your world, you are this rose, and you also are still protected because you have these thorns. And it allows you to teach admiration for yourself and to be able to wear it proudly while still being able to protect the things that are beautiful within you. The second week. Some of these words did not spell out actual words, so I had to take what Spirit was probably trying to get to me. It's real right now. You looked up, you heard this loud roar, and at first you were like, is that even real? Did I just imagine that? Did I actually do that? Did I create that? And that second week, yes, you did. You did create that. It's real right now. You put that out there. I didn't do it. I only helped you look away from what you only had in front of you. I helped give you this inspiration. But you're the one that actually did the work for it. And it's real right now. I love this locket. Going back to the rose. When you broke down your walls, you became this beautiful rose, but you were still protective. You had these boundaries now, and people could actually approach you without fear of you putting up another wall or walking away from them. And this locket is very magnetic. And because the picture's not on the inside, you didn't have to hide that part of you. That second week, you put yourself out there. And you're still protected because, as you can see, there's this film. But people can actually see your more authentic self this week. They see things that they didn't know about you. And I love that. Third week. Oh, I almost forgot a letter. I actually went to school with someone that had the name Kai, and I used to really think how pretty it was. So Kai, in Hawaiian, it means sea or ocean. In Japanese, it means sea, shell, open, restoration, recovery. In Frisian, it could be diminutive of names, meaning warrior or brave spear. Scandinavian and Welsh, it means keeper of keys. You hold the key here. No one else has the key to what it is that you are able to accomplish. That is something you have, and you are the keeper of that key. In Persian, it means king. In Greek, it means earth or pier. Estonian, it also means pier or wharf. In Maori, It can mean food. Because you have this unlimited potential, you are able to create anything that you wish to achieve. And when you take yourself out of your comfort zone, people can start to see this skill that you have, because this manager values people that are able to mold and become anything they wish to be. Because that is a very, very powerful skill to be a jack of all trades, to be able to create, to be able to write, to be able to pick up any hobby or skill. And for your charms, we have the bells, and we have a promise ring. And mind you, it is loose. It can be taken off. What isn't set in stone? You have to work on everything that you do in this life, because nothing is set in stone. If you had just stayed in the mind of creation, the thought process, and never executed it, this ring would have been opened and this would have just fell out of your hands. But in this instance, it was the negative critic that was in this back room that fell out instead. And I'm also hearing maybe you are in a relationship, and now that you've found this inspiration and you're able to ask for the help around you, especially if you were planning a wedding this month, this is allowing you to really cultivate and make that promise that you built upon actually manifest. And this can even help you be inspired to bring in more music and passion into your relationship, or even just around yourself and those around you. In the last week, and I love that because this is cut, it's not attached to anything. You can take this wherever you want to go. Because you allowed yourself to create healthy boundaries that didn't put an actual physical wall up around you, where you didn't have to go to a room and hide. Anytime an individual with hurtful intentions tries to come around you, you no longer shut yourself off from that kind of energy. You allow yourself to defend yourself presently and effectively, and put the law in everyone. And you hold a different standard for yourself, and you hold a different standard for others that you let inside your presence. That should anybody decide to hurt any kind of aspect of yourself that you admire, because you are now this lion with this beautiful mane and this energy that allows you to accomplish anything. And you've proved each week others who may have not believed this in you wrong. You proved yourself wrong. And you're able to really create more things, more gold, and your own sense of style. And I love this because this is like an Art Deco style. It's very modernist, it's abstract, It can be figural, but it's a sense of expression that you hold proudly. And it allows you to defend what you express with an open mind, because we need to be open-minded to our conversations that we have with others, with opportunities that may present themselves. When we don't close ourselves off and only live in the background, we allow ourselves to take in even more things that we can manifest. Well, this is your reading for December. Thank you so much for being patient and allowing me to channel this reading for you. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, especially if there's someone in here that could take this message and be a wounded healer as well. And subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And I would love to see what your December adventures look like. If you do create, I would love to see that. Share it. I have a Facebook page and Instagram, and I would just love to see how your December looks. But without further ado, if you are ready for pile 2, if you felt called, go ahead and jump over into the timestamp as I clear everything off the table. And if you are ready to go to maybe pile 3, go ahead. Or if you're just ready to go, you got the message you received. I appreciate you, and I hope you'll have a great holiday this month. want to thank you for the intro, if you participated in the intro, and the breathing techniques and setting benevolent intentions. Let's go ahead and get into your reading. If you're coming from another pile, welcome. Welcome if you came from 1, welcome if you came from 3, or just welcome if this was the first one you chose. So the energy for this month, we have Neptune, dream and transcend. Neptune is, this whole month is about allowing this veil to drop, this veil, where you're able to see not just the physical substance, but also more of the spiritual substance of the things that are around you. It's creative visions that touch us, and they create even more longing with the collective. It's allowing yourself to see yourselves in a bigger picture. It's merging with something greater than yourself. It's where you surrender to the oneness. And by doing so, you bring in more romance and empathy, especially when you drop the ego at the door. It brings in more joy and compassion, and it allows you to feel another person's sorrow, and you can understand it as if it was your own. It's where beauty and danger are side by side. It's where the rich and poor are side by side. It's allowing ourselves to be together and whole in this month of December. And Neptune will help you reveal glamour and illusions. It's anything that you use to abandon reality, whether it be in your dreams and imagination, whether it be addictions, or even illnesses that may occur, or if you escape constantly from those around you or yourself, or just any situation or task that is there and you're trying to escape from it. Neptune is going to drop the veil, if I can speak. I think veal is deer meat. So maybe you are going to leave and go on a hunting journey, so to speak. Neptune really brings in spiritual truths and allows them to be stood for a while, but also hold compassion for the imperfect. So if that came out not clearly, it's allowing yourself to stand in your truth, but also be compassionate for the things that are not perfect around you. In this, you will find people who are very healing, and there's this sense of selfless service to others. It's all about honoring your dreams and the things that come to you, writing them down so you don't forget them. So you may be encouraged to keep a dream journal this month. It helps you find wisdom behind images and their meanings to bring inspiration from what you experience too. So Neptune is going to encourage a lot of this. And in your pile, because Neptune is all about illusions, if you are a tarot reader, I want you to catch the illusion that I didn't catch until closer towards the end. And Neptune is going to allow you to do so. And you believe you are this individual that does not allow a fortune to be the only fortune you receive. And this pile here, when you receive information, you not only test the waters, you prove something else completely different than what is shown. So let's go ahead and get into week 1. Week 1, with judgment upright, is this moment of truth within this week that will turn your world upside down. Everything just starts to look different to you. Maybe rules that used to apply to you no longer apply to you. And especially when we are in December, when we think about these traditions that we see families uphold, why do we have these traditions? What are the truth or the truths behind these traditions? Or even what we thought we knew isn't the only thing to be known. With Neptune being very in tune with your intuitive side and your intuition and your subconscious, something is going to be revealed to you within this week, and it's going to turn everything upside down for you. Some new insight is going to break through, and the compression of all life's pains, all the things, the changes, and the learnings become a single moment in this instance. This is the kind of energy that you would feel, especially when your life flashes before your eyes. But you're given the opportunity to change or create more memories of significance. And for my very gifted spiritual people, this is something you have always been able to do. You're able to pick up on cues around you because you trust your intuition, and you're able to navigate and steer away from it. You're able to check in for alignment and work towards the things that are for your highest good. And y'all are the type of individuals, especially in this first week, having all the information needed and being able to really make a verdict at the same time confidently. This week, you gain that information, and now you are able to effectively use your judgment to the best. This week will kind of allow you to see where it is that you can take yourself. But you are individuals that are able to take the wheel and drive it wherever you choose. So when you're in this reading, you may see this and have a different plan for yourself based off of what you hear or see. Allow yourself to be the judge that calls that verdict. For the crystal this week, we have Septarian. Direction, fearless, communication. Known as the Dragonstone, Septarian instills fierce confidence and self-esteem, especially in front of an audience. However, as much as it improves your public appearances, it also protects your privacy. Guarding your secrets and valuing your inner space. Incredibly grounded and connected to the earth, Septarian can pinpoint illnesses in the body and focuses on listening to the body's needs by building a strong relationship with it. The name Septarian comes from the Latin word septem, or 7, signifying the pattern of 7 on the exterior of the crystal. And 7 can talk about reflection. And I also like that Neptune allows you to see an illness that you may have been putting off. And by no longer putting it off or seeing how that illness is going to take you, you're able to take action upon it. Maybe the things that you were eating or drinking were not for your benefit. And this allows you to reflect on that and essentially be the dragon that burns it away from you. The animal for this is the loon. And this makes me think of hunting again. Maybe you've been putting off hunting. Maybe you were worried that you weren't going to be able to catch anything. But is that all hunting's about? Or is it a way to commune with nature? A way to allow yourself to let your intuition come in and sense the world around you? Hunting doesn't have to be something about killing or bringing home food. It can also be about just being one with nature. So the loon is intuitive. Listen to the song of your soul. Trust your intuition as you have a way of knowing. Emerge from the busy life and seek more solitude. Recognize that you are unique and that you are loved. For week 2, we have the 9 of Wands in reverse. Let's say first week you seen something called you. There was a truth, because I have blue that just fell right there. So a sense of overwhelmingness is starting to set in, and you find yourself kind of lost in the woods. There's another hunting reference. Or you gained this insight and now you don't know what to do with it just yet. So there's this overwhelmingness that's starting to set in. And if you find yourself lost in the woods, exhausted, you're trying to find your way out, and you're trying to return back to civilization, because this required you to go within. This week required you to go within. And now that you have put yourself to the test and you're in these woods, you're trying to come back to civilization. You're trying to come back to reality. Remember, Neptune, it's any kind of illusion that we may put ourselves in. The veil is dropping. You had this insight, and now you're trying to come out of it within this week. But here, it's saying you need to rest before you come out again, because you had to do a lot of work, a lot of healing, a lot of working things out before you could return. And you're burnt out now from this energy, because this is a very, very powerful energy that is coming from week 1 into week 2. But before you can do anything, you need to rest. And especially rest within, your family tree's arms. Anybody that allows you to heal. Anyone that doesn't pull from your energy or require anything of you. Maybe you did have a surgery and you want to do more for yourself, but in the second week, you're being asked to retreat and heal and allow others to come around you and help heal. Ask them for assistance. So that way you don't burn everything around you down. Or yourself, because you're going to find yourself caught up in the flame. Or even if you realized, I can't do this by myself, and now there's this overwhelming fear coming in. This is saying, look to those around you who can come in and assist you with things that you can't pick up. Surgery keeps coming back to me. So let someone take over laundry for you. Let someone come in and help cook a meal for you. And when you recover and you get better, don't worry about the state of your house. When you are good enough again, you will be able to pick up where you need to pick up. Being a fighting spirit on the defense can take a toll on your reserves. If you're not careful, you'll unintentionally burn those you were defending or yourself. If a situation becomes too much, pause till your mind is clear. Don't pick up another task. Don't make a promise that you know you cannot fulfill this week. You have the rest of your time to do so. And judgment is going to remind you. It's going to keep giving you those insightful moments to let you know if you do not pause, this is going to become out of control. The crystal for this is green aventurine. I'm also thinking of adventure. Maybe you want to go on an adventure, but before you do, maybe you want to go hunting, but before you do, allow yourself to heal so that way you're at your 100%. So that way, if you are solo hunting, you don't have an accident happen around you. And this is even more so to bring your tribe with you on this hunt, to go at your own pace. I'm also thinking of, if you think about a pack of wolves, the older leader at the front, so the rest of the pack goes at its speed, and the leader is at the back. If the leader was at the front and we had this old wise wolf at the end and it couldn't keep up with all the youth before it, it will get really tired and the leader may not see it fall. So take your time, allow yourself to heal, and then you will be able to go out again. Green aventurine, prosperity, fortune, and opportunity. Known as the good luck stone or the stone of opportunity, aventurine is used to attract abundance into your life. It propels growth, not just physically, but also personally, presenting learning opportunities for your soul's evolution. Aventurine also aligns situations so opportunities appear. Acting as a stabilizing force, aventurine balances male and female energy to bring a soothing harmony between yin and yang. Aventurine can also attract love, complementing the heart chakra and resolving lingering emotional issues, especially if you've been beating yourself up about this. Beating yourself up because you need to heal and you're at home and you have all these things that you need to do that you think you need to be doing, but you're hurting yourself. Be more empathetic. Allow yourself to sit and take in the essence of everything around you. Maybe you can't bring a big backpack or all of your tools with you on this journey, but you're able to just bring yourself and admire the beauty around you. The animal that's coming through is the white stag, protector. You are an old soul. Your best friend is nature. Use your intuition to take you where you want to go. Awaken to the powerful force within you. You are meant to create blessings with your magic. I really feel like my pile 2 is my nature people. And maybe you live within the city and you can't just leave, especially if you're waiting for family to come in and you've been putting off going out in nature and grounding yourself. This could be a sign that before you have any more energy come in, allow yourself to ground before you invite it. And this is where I'm going to stop and flip it. Because when I originally seen this card, I thought this was a 9. But if you are tarot individuals, y'all would know that tarot the Six of Wands has the horse. And so there was this illusion put on your pile, and Spirit really helped show how that lesson would work, especially for someone who's reading tarot. So let me talk about the Nine of Wands, but I'm going to talk about the Six of Wands too. So Judgment and Neptune came to show how illusions work. And because I mistook the Six of Wands as Nine of Wands, I was able to drop the veil so that way you may too. You were meant to have 2 cards this week, but I allowed myself to intentionally read them as opposites, since what we know is not what we actually know. Six of Wands talks about asking what it is you really want. If you continue burning through your resources, sort of like how the image, the actual Six of Wands has, you will burn yourself out from exhaustion, and everything will feel like a personal attack. It'll feel like an obstacle or roadblock has occurred and keeps occurring. And it allows yourself to obtain what you want by knowing what it is that you want. And it allows you to celebrate even if someone else doesn't know what you're celebrating for. Your personal wins have a right to matter to you. And if you were in that position where you were just trying to heal and others couldn't understand why you had to lock the door or why you decided to take a stroll in the woods, and this card specifically here is trying to let you see that don't let what other people's imagination of what you think they are thinking or saying affect you, because you're going to feel like you need to stay in the woods and not come back to civilization. I am thankful Spirit gave that illusion, that perception. And maybe you will be in an instance where you're asked, what number does this look like to you? On your end, it looks like a 9, and on their end, it looks like a 6. So by allowing yourself to see that there could be 2 sides to things, you're able to see what judgment has to bring to you for insight. Let's go ahead and look at week 4. We have the 6 of Pentacles. All right. The 6 of Pentacles, if I can get my page to be right, it's like it's trying to tell me, no, that's not it. That's not the one. You're going to give yourself an illusion again. And maybe that's what you're worried about. You're worried about something not being what it actually is, and it's making you scared to leave the woods. You've had all of these examples in your life to prove that it's not worth fighting for. But the 6 of Pentacles is once you have allowed yourself to ground and heal and bring in more assistance if you need it, you are able to be more generous and be able to give and receive at the same time. It's being in a much more stable position than the week before. And this generosity isn't just with, your money or your finances. It's also with your time and energy. The first week gave you a heads up that if you wanted to provide more, you will have to work harder for it in some cases, especially if this was not talking about a surgery or an illness that you had to overcome. This could be because you weren't where you needed to be with your finances. You knew that you needed to work harder or pick up an extra job or really decide what it was that you wanted around this time. And it's allowing you to be smart about it too, because you know if you overdo it and you carried that energy into week 2, and if you did not take a break, you would just find yourself sick again. So don't overdo it and allow yourself to rest so you won't have to worry about paying for an accidental bill, such as a speeding ticket, hospital bill, or when you're shopping while you're hungry and tired at the same time. If you catch yourself doing that, allow yourself to take that break so that way you have more money in your pockets. And you're going to find more ways to give than just money. Maybe it's art, homemade items. Maybe it's through selfless services like babysitting, maybe cleaning for another. It could even be knowledge and skills. Time out and about, nature walks, looking at holiday lights, hot cocoa, exploring all the things your city has that is free for you, like libraries when they have special reading sessions for children, or even like in our city, we have this park that has a train that goes around it, and they take donations and they give out hot cocoa during certain times of the season. But it's a free event that you can bring your family to that doesn't cost anything. Research the things around you that are free first before you have to spend. And one of the best gifts that you can possibly give someone is just being present with them. Sometimes that's all you can do. If you can't give anything, at least by showing up, that is the best gift you can give. So the crystal channel for this week is red jade, warrior, individuality, and chi. Unleash your inner warrior. Red jade is a stone of power, able to release anger in constructive ways that solves problems. Filled with chi, known as life force in Chinese culture. Red jade enhances passion, vitality, and strength. Take action and move decisively. Red jade enhances your courage, protecting and inspiring you as you move forward in your day-to-day life. Use red jade when you are looking to have exponential results, whether it's with your finances, business, or with your physical health. Good luck is bestowed onto you. If you heard my cat sneeze in the background, please, if you have a cold, allow yourself to heal and take medicine and drink more fluids. Take in some vitamin C, get some sunlight, so that way you can be around others and you can give more of yourself and receive too. Because people may want to come in and give you love and their time, but they won't be able to do that if you're sick. Now, this animal card is asking you to choose an animal that inspires you, that lights you up, that you actually have a favorite. Personal choice. Close your eyes. What animal do you imagine? What strengths are they known for? What wisdom do they share? And embrace these qualities. You have the ability to change how your week will look because of your intuition. You've had multiple instances where you are very in tune with yourself and your surroundings. Use this gift wisely, but don't let it keep you from actually making a choice or moving forward. You know how to avoid collisions, but don't forget to leave the woods when danger passes. And that's a big note that I want you to take in. You cannot be scared of living life if you know how it's going to end. If you know what is around the corner and it scares you, don't allow that to keep you from living your life. If you've ever read the Lemony Snicket books as a child, these orphans have an aunt that is so scared of everything occurring that she doesn't know how to live her life again. She doesn't use her stove. She has specific rituals that she does, and she ends up, everything that she was scared of happening ended up happening. But they wouldn't have, and that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Don't be afraid to live your life. Don't be afraid to start things. Because this insight that you have, this intuition you have, was just meant to make you aware. And it did not show you everything, but Neptune is allowing you to drop the veil so you can see other possibilities and roads that can happen. But don't allow yourself to stop living your life because you know things. Let's go into week 4. We have the Empress. The little actions that brought us close together. The Empress is able to sit comfortably and secure from managing her time and abundance wisely. She's able to nurture herself and show others how to do the same by example. It is here she is able to strengthen her presence to Earth and stay grounded before the next month appears. Others will feel more fruitful by just being near her warmth, and will feel protected without worrying if their walls are sturdy enough. The little things you took care of this month will manifest and bring more value to you. Feeling larger than life thanks to Neptune's boost. You also know you can't always help others win their victories, especially if you're trying to help someone win a battle for themselves. Sometimes, by doing that, it just burdens us even more. We can't save a forest by ourselves, but we can still plant a tree. And we just need one nurturing moment at a time with others and ourselves. And the end of the month, you're going to be called to do even more nurturing time for yourself and even for others, especially if you have children, maybe you have nieces, nephews, anyone that sees you as a source of comfort. By being able to take care of your own battles, you were able to be victorious. You were able to give more of yourself more authentically. And this showed others how to do that for themselves. And they will be able to, just by being just around you, you are healing them. You're encouraging them to do so. But you're not allowing them to let you do the fighting for them, because you realize you couldn't pick everyone else's obstacles up for them like you used to be able to. And you realized if you keep helping other people out, you were going to burn everything else around you down. You were going to wear yourself out. You were going to make yourself even more sicker, or even want to escape from the people that were constantly pulling from you. And by you kind of cutting that connection off and being more open and communicating your needs so you can step within, you avoided unnecessary fighting. People finally understood, this is why you needed to step away, and I completely understand. And I don't hold that against you. You were able to communicate that and prevent emotional damage from coming in. And this allowed you to be nurturing with yourself and others. So let's look at your stone channel for this week. And we have red jasper, justice, strength, stability. Red jasper works closely with the base chakra and heals any wounds surrounding injustice, grounding you back to earth. Red jasper alleviates chronic worry, clearing mental blockages to make space for balanced emotions and thoughts. Working with the base chakra, red jasper can also help issues related to sex, inviting you to explore your sexuality in healthy ways, providing stability and protection. Red jasper balances yin and yang, expressing masculine and feminine energies that feel safe yet nourished. And if you are in a relationship, I didn't touch on a lot of relationship energy, but there is a lot of passion, especially that could have came within week 2. But if you didn't direct it in a healthy way, or you let it go out of control and you weren't able to bring it back in, this last week here is going to allow you to actually be a nurturing source, a relationship that is more inviting and is deeply passionate, so to speak. And you do have these red crystals too. And by grounding yourself and not trying to fight and grasp things that are intentionally burning you, when you release it, the woods are no longer on fire. You know who was shooting an arrow at you now. Think of Cupid. And when you look up and see that there were other people around you that weren't going to catch you on fire, but you were able to see it while you grounded within this safe space, and you worked on things that may have caused you to escape from the good things that are around you. You may have been chasing the wrong things. This judgment allowed you to see that so you can do the work, so you weren't constantly on fire and burning those around you unintentionally. And then in here, maybe this next month, because the Empress is very fertile. This could also be a sign that by opening yourself up to your loved ones or your partner, maybe you're going to bring in something new and inviting for the next year. Maybe you are growing a little child within you. Or even maybe you're about to have a little one at the end of this month. That's what I'm getting from here. I'm seeing lots of possibilities here for you. And the Empress is all about abundance. But you were able to achieve that by balancing, your life around you. The animal for this month, or for this last week, is the owl. Magic. Choose to know the truth because you can. Open your inner vision. You can see through deception. Let the past go and make room for a better life. Rise up. Magic and wisdom are your birthright. Rise up, because magic and wisdom are your birthright. Rise up, because you have this ability to foresee things around you and do something about it. And that is the reading. Let's go into your Scrabble and your charms for each week. And I'll do 1 week at a time, so that way you aren't waiting for me to get everything out. So in the first week, I had oar, and this is the type of oar you would use when you were canoeing or in a stream. This is Spirit giving you a tool to change your boat's direction this week, especially if you see a waterhead moccasin. Be careful if you're out in the woods. There are animals that are burrowing underneath trees and leaves around this time. And maybe you need to bring yourself a walking stick so you don't accidentally steer something up. But originally I was going to say a waterfall ahead of you, that you know if you keep going on the same course, you're going to plummet. And this O I took as a circle, because this is a cycle you may have noticed about yourself, because the judgment is enlightening. It is allowing yourself to see certain aspects of yourself or certain aspects of the people around you, and to be able to change either those things within you or limit the interactions you have with others that may have addictions or their own versions of escapism. You're able to steer your oar in a different direction. And the Infinity Pearl Pin talks about staying connected to the past, the present, and the future. Pearls are made through transformation or a formation process where a mollusk creates a protective layer around an irritant. It also symbolizes growing through adversity to achieve wisdom and resilience. And you may know that you're going to need a lot of resilience, especially if you want to give more to others. And this week is going to say, let's take this in a different direction so that way we can. Let's go look at week 2's charms and Scrabble words. And no, it's not going to spell ape, but maybe you're monkeying around in week 2 and you need to chill out. Maybe you're playing too much. Originally, what I did spell was age up, grow up. People around you need to grow up. And if they're not, you don't have to entertain that type of energy. You can surround yourself with effective boundaries, and that will let others know, especially if they're being immature about how you've had to do something different this week, because you've seen if you didn't, it was going to make you unable to be around those. They need to mature and they need to grow up. because that's not going to benefit you. If you are having to help other people win their battles for them, or if you are the first person everyone calls, let this be your indication within this week, because you need to go within, that they're just going to have to wait till you're done doing what it is you're doing, or they need to find the answer for themselves, or they're not going to grow. And we have another owl image here. This week is very big about you being in tune with your intuition, and you're going to be asked to perch above. Maybe not make yourself so seen, if that makes sense. Maybe turn your phone off for the time being. Maybe step away from your TV and social media and allow yourself to take that trip to the woods, the nature, or maybe you have a separate place in your home where you can relax in. Make others think that maybe you're not at home if you need to. I'm not saying check out completely, because you do need to come back to society, but this is saying maybe there is some growth here that you need to do too. And there's some insight, and there's this wisdom that you have found, and you'll be able to do that within here. And sometimes love can hurt, but it can be for the benefit of others as well. So that way we don't hurt and create more hurtful moments that can have a lasting impact on our lives. But this is also talking about having more compassion with yourself, allowing yourself to not always be strong. You are allowed to feel weak. It is a right to have your feelings. And by knowing you have a right to feel the way you want to feel, you're able to separate. And if there are people around you that don't appreciate those who cut them off so that way they can heal, those people, send that energy somewhere else, and don't allow that energy to come in until they've grown up. You have the right to take a break when you need it, and you have the right to communicate these needs. And if people won't let you take care of yourself, they will see what happens when you don't, because you won't be able to help continue to take care of them. And if you've got grandchildren or nieces and nephews and you're sick and you've got siblings that just want to come over all the time, especially during December, and maybe you're not able to take on that energy, don't let that bother you. When you're healthy again, you'll be able to play again. This week's Scrabble here, I had to think really, really hard about what it was that Spirit was wanting me to do with these words, because I didn't have a vowel. So I built a chart. This is about being reciprocal. To need giving love. To give love freely. One is pulling and one is giving. And if you've been on the giving end before this is saying you need to start giving yourself more of that love, and you need to be very free with the love you give to others, to yourself. And because the vowels are missing, Spirit is emphasizing communicating what you can't spell out for others. Explain it in a different way using analogies or stories. If I don't go to the woods, I will be bringing the woods with me. So if you don't want a tree in your house with all the creatures in it, let me go to the woods, or you will have a pet squirrel. Communicate what it is you can't spell out. If you don't let me rest and take a break from society and the people around me, the house may catch on fire. Not literally. Don't catch your house on fire with people in it. Or if you won't let me take this week off, and you could be talking to your work about this as well. Let them know if you don't take this week off, you are potentially going to burn out. It could potentially put you behind a wheel and you may pass out. If you are a driver for really big company chains and you are delivering packages or goods to either, these retail places or even to people's houses, thank you so much for what you're doing. But allow yourself to speak up so you can take a break, because this may be your most busiest time of the month. And you need to let others know that you can't handle the load, that you need more assistance to come in, and maybe even start a page where you are offering people a job, especially if you have a business. By promoting your ad out there, that billboard, you're able to bring in more abundance to the business, and you're taking less of the load off your shoulders. That's coming through. I almost forgot your charms. So this ring, I don't know if I will be able to get you to kind of if I could find my camera. When you look at the ring up close, there's a missing jewel in it. And the jewel with this gem right here, because this gem does spin. Too many promises to others can spin out of control, and your own promises you make, especially to yourself, can take the jewels from the sun you shine. You will start to deplete your worth. Your worth to yourself. You will start to feel unworthy because you're burning through your fuels. And now it's chipping away, and now you can't authentically show up. You can't play with the grandchildren, the nieces, the nephews, the brothers and the sisters. And people will notice that. But you need to spell out what you can't communicate before that happens. The next week's Scrabble, or the last week, in the charms, undo past years. Something you have to undo a little at a time. Remember, it's the little things that add more value. Something you can't escape from. Something that happened before this. especially if you are in a position to protect your inner child and future children you have met. If you are thinking of starting a family, or if you are about to be having another child or about to have your first child, if you have any unresolved conflicts or past memories that you have been avoiding, this end of the month, you're going to really think about that, because you had this enlightening moment where when you decided that something needed to change because what you knew wasn't what you actually knew. Maybe a family secret came out and it completely changed how you looked at your family dynamic and your childhood that you grew up in. And now you're being asked to really analyze it and see if you did not change certain patterns or understand the irritants around the clam that your family put you in, why they were the way they were, what were they before this clam. You're being asked to kind of undo and unwind it, to transcend and to pull that intuition. You may be called to do some past life work. And this turtle here is saying it's a slow process. It's not something you're going to do overnight. Just as when you are growing a child within you or growing within your family, it takes time and it takes consistent effort. And it's not saying you need to drop and forget everything. What it's saying is to process it so that way it doesn't hold a weight down on you and it doesn't burden you and it doesn't make you feel like you need to constantly retreat from others. And when you have those emotional flare-ups, when you're able to effectively communicate what it is you can't spell out, you are now in this much more mature state where you have so much more wisdom and so much more compassion that people, when they come around you, they don't have to just see the outside of the clam. They can see what it is that's within you that is beautiful, and all these stars, and there's even a pearl in this clam. You're able to show that beauty. You're no longer irritated. You're no longer bunched up, if that makes sense, and avoiding society, avoiding the people around you. You're able to kind of break off, grow, and see so much more is around you. And if people have gave you a certain average of what you should expect of others, Spirit is showing you there are a lot more other people that are much more nurturing and comforting to be around, that can help give to you, where you don't feel like you have to constantly give back. They are just happy to be in your presence. And that is what's beautiful about your pile. So a slow pace, you will be able to openly swim with others and let them see what stars you're growing. That was your pile 2. Thank you so much. Especially if you were coming from another pile and you felt called for even more insight for December. If you enjoyed, please like, share. Sharing is caring, especially if you know somebody that could take this information and really benefit from it, really grow from it. And if y'all have any kind of interesting holiday coming up, I hope it's with many blessings. And if y'all have really cool weather, especially if you get snow where you live, go ahead and share that. I would love to see snowmen and all sorts of snowflakes. Maybe if you find a spider out in the woods or maybe a spider web, take a picture. I want to see that, because that's good luck in some traditions. But thank you so much. If you want to jump into the third pile, you were more than welcome to. But if you came to this pile and you want to go to another pile, go ahead and go to the link in the description. So that way you may go to your timestamp. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and clear this board off and get the last pile ready. Hi, Pile 4. If you came from another pile, welcome back. If you are just jumping in, remember when we get to the end, if you feel called to jump into another pile that you were called to, you are more than welcome to. But let's go ahead and look at the energy for this month. And we have Capricorn. Now, this does not mean you have to have Capricorn energy. Even though it is interesting how Capricorn did come in through the month, it talks about ambition, realism, and methodical steps. So let's go ahead and kind of look at this energy. Capricorns have a sense of duty and a practical, disciplined approach to life. These individuals are ruled by Saturn, and it's linked to anything that is time earned, whether it be authority, like a manager or a teacher. anything that you have to spend a lot of time doing to gain other people's respect. And it can even be achievement. Anything that you have to work really hard for that is an achievement, whether it be a sport event or a long-term goal, owning a home, working on a book, creating anything that takes time and effort. And this energy can also talk about traditions that are put in place. And December has a lot of tradition holidays. And you may be called to turn to those traditions, or maybe even start your own traditions, something that you wish to work hard for. And this type of energy here is very goal-oriented. It loves accomplishing tangible things through hard, honest work. And it's not something that you would see taking shortcuts. It loves the journey. It loves seeing all of the... Oh, those are my children that were just coming in through the door. Maybe this is children that are around you that, you know, you put a lot of effort into and work towards. And... or this could be the relationships around you, because I happened to turn around and it wasn't my children, it was my husband instead. Maybe it's the relationships around you that you strive to work towards. It's that happily ever after, but you like to be able to work towards that happily ever after and work past it. If you aren't working on something that is purposeful to you, you are likely to find yourself very depressed with no sense of purpose. And this energy has to have a sense of purpose. You have to find the why behind what it is that you are doing, or you will have doubt, you will become depressed, and the people around you will actually start to feel that from you, because it'll be like this aura around you that is really dark, and they'll want to wonder, why do you feel that way? Well, you want a sense of purpose this month. And if you were lost too much in the material existence, like if you're somebody that is constantly working and you don't know how to enjoy the things that you have accomplished, you will be found to be taken more serious. You become all work and no play, and your energy just feels very relentless and controlling and unfeeling at the same time. You start to look like this rock to people, like there is no emotional depth within you. And this energy is trying to let you see there's the good side and the bad side between being too serious, not serious enough about your goals, and they're wanting you to kind of balance that this month. These people, this energy, they're spiritual wizards, and they can activate our integrity and our ability to build our life brick by brick. They're able to take people who don't think they're anything and show them how to build a skeleton, a backbone, so that way they may be able to walk with more purpose. So that way they don't just fall in on themselves. These people are able to give people a backbone, and this energy is wanting to do the same for you. Fact? I don't know why that came out like that. Fact. Masculine and feminine energy is needed for whatever is being creative. It's about seeing that you need to be able to be soft, so that way you're able to manifest things. You don't always need to be rough around the edges. You don't always have to be serious, because this holiday time is all about joy. It's about having fun. And if you've been working too much to see that there were things going on around you, you didn't take time away from your environment that you were put in, that you created for yourself, you're going to miss out on a lot of good memories. So be diligent without pushing. Be determined, but very open to opportunities that are around you or situations. Be focused, but allow yourself space, like in between these cards, between these weeks. Efforts align with your soul will make you feel full. And this month, you need to walk in trust while holding outcomes very loosely. There may be a lot of promises that are said this month, but understand, if you live in an area where you get a lot of snow, or if you know someone lives in an area where they get a lot of snow, be okay that they may get snowed in. And if you are in a work environment, your managers need to be okay with these unexpected delays coming in, especially if there's these meetings that the board expects to be talking about, or if this isn't a work-related situation. There just needs to be this openness to things that may not fall through. Walk in trust. Hold outcomes loosely. When people do show up, then celebrate. But if you're waiting for others to show up to celebrate, start celebrating. Allow that celebration come from you. And allow yourself to be more integrative this month, to show others how to work hard for the things that they want. And when I'm thinking of integrity, don't try to I'm hearing currently, if you are not in a financial situation, do not allow yourself to be scammed this month. Use the information you have wisely. If you are trying to get your child the toy that they want, don't buy into an expensive price that you have to work even harder for. And these loose promises that may be given, be careful about promising those around you that you're going to be able to give them the things that they want. Things happen. Doctor bill visits happen. Speeding tickets, unexpected flight delays, all of these things happen. So don't make that promise until you have it within your hands. Have it within your hands before you make that promise, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and jump into pile 1. The first week, not pile 1. Maybe you may be called to the first pile. Week 1 is 10 of Cups, and I kind of want to show y'all that beautiful artwork. It makes me think of the Little Mermaid. The 10 of Cups is about harmony, reunions, security, this domestic bliss, being able to be surrounded by your family or finding a family within those that are around you. It's the things that bring you happiness and contentment. And surrounding that this first week, you've worked hard to obtain joy through the means of your own actions and really the actions and collaborations with others. Now that there is a sense of stability and security here, you can surround yourself with the people that give you emotional fulfillment. The work is done, and now you can play. So maybe in November you did a lot of work in order to get some time off the beginning of the week. And now that the work is done, now you're able to enjoy this moment with your family or be able to surround yourself with those. If you are homesick and would like to be with your loved ones, maybe by adding pieces that remind you of your home around you would be more fulfilling. Especially, like I said, delays, potential actions not being able to finalize. Writing the story that you wish to see this week. Maybe you're planning your month out ahead and you want to plan it so that way everyone can come in. I'm thinking of a really big family is showing up this week. And I'm also seeing there are different types of, maybe different cultures, different belief systems, different traditions here. And I will say, because you are bringing in all of these family members, maybe you just had a little one, because I am seeing an infant in this picture. Maybe you had this little one, which made everybody come in from all over just so that way they can be here for this moment and celebrate this child with you. So you've had to make more room to allow this type of love to come in. The crystal channel for this week is lepidolite. It almost makes me think of Pedialyte. Maybe while you are bringing in all of these family members, make sure to have some Pedialyte in your home, or having medicine stocked up in case people get sick. Because even though these might be mermaids or sirens, they do look kind of pale. Be prepared for others, especially if they have motion sickness or flight drowsiness. Make sure you have things around them that are there that'll help them through that first week. Transition, release, change. Change is coming, and lepidolite is the perfect crystal to help you with those transitions. By becoming aware of bad habits and patterns, we can release them to make room for new ones that sustain a healthy lifestyle. Lepidolite helps us let go of attachments to old behaviors and addictions, clearing away emotional ties to the stories we tell ourselves. Lepidolite encourages self-love on all levels, even if we need to step away from our current way of doing things to establish that trust. Write the story you want to live. And by thinking about, this family that is around you and the hard work that you have to put in for it, maybe this week, if you know there is a part of your family that would put this emotional happiness to the test, or people that have a viewpoint on how you should be dealing with an infant, especially a new one, this one is encouraging you to be prepared for that. So that way you may have more self-love for yourself, because they may have the best interest at heart, but you are allowed to make decisions for your family that work for you. And maybe they don't understand why you are in this different land. You may have family members that you really love and love you too, that may have felt hurt because you left and now you're in this whole different country, this whole different state. And they may feel like they need to bring this wound to remind you what happened to building a life here instead. But instead, you decided to build your life over here on land where you felt more at peace and happy with the person that you were with. It's not for everybody, but if you are trying to surround your home, get your home ready so you can bring in more loving energy, just be prepared. And definitely be prepared to have, I would start asking what everybody enjoys. Ask them what lights them up. Ask them about their hobbies. So that way you may be able to put that in your home before they arrive. For the animal, we have butterfly, rebirth. You can reinvent yourself, open to the rewards of change. You have brilliance to share with the world. Love every part of your journey. Or maybe you had to make room for your family, and this is like a long-term thing that you've been thinking about doing. And doing this is allowing you to even see more love and to make people a part of the memory. They're there every day to experience it. Maybe you have to take in a family member. And by doing so, you realize you are giving yourself more peace and allowing to see wisdom that can be shared. Try not to shake my camera. So let's go ahead and get into week 2. Week 2, we have the Queen of Cups in reverse. It's inner feelings, it's self-care, it's self-love, and codependency. So after spending that first week surrounded by others and nurturing others and just making sure that they are comfortable within your home, the second week is giving you this cue to stop running around and retreat so you can give yourself room to breathe. It's a healthy, detaching sort of energy. That's what I'm getting from this. You may feel inclined to show everyone what they need to be comfortable, but give yourself a break. Let others around you step in. Let your partner take the cue, especially if you have a little one that just came in. Allow yourself to separate. Let someone else hold the baby. Let someone else pick the baby up when the baby cries. You don't have to always be there, constantly feeding and nurturing. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself avoiding others, very sensitive to your emotions. You're going to say things you don't mean, and others are going to take it personal. They're left in the water and they don't know why you're up there in your mind, so to speak. Don't get wrapped up in everyone's drama or allow it to question your own happiness, especially if someone wants you on their emotional level. I keep pointing at this corner because she's in the back. She's in the back and she's just kind of looking at everything in front of her. Don't let other people's actions get to you. Sometimes they need to do their own healing work, and you can't always do that for them. If you have family members that constantly relied on you for your wisdom, for your compassion, for your nurturing nature, and they thought that they were going to get that by just showing up, you are going to be asked to remind them that you are still going to take care of yourself. They need to find what makes them happy for themselves. You can't always be the beacon for them. If you are all too serious, like if you become way too serious and snippy and you start snapping at people because you're trying to make everything work out the way you planned it to, remember the Capricorn said, keep things planned loosely. Things can change. Maybe this family came in and they wanted to do their own family brunch, not with everyone. Or maybe this family came in and they thought that they were just going to take control of the situation. Remind them that you already had plans in place, and those are the plans you are going to do, and you're not going to be made to feel bad for it. Especially if you have to walk out of the room to go take a nap or give the baby to somebody that is capable of nurturing and taking care of the child. Let this be your moment to go within and, retreat if that makes sense. Retreat. The crystal channel for this week is sulfur. It's volcanic, progressive, and inventive. Sourced from volcanic areas, sulfur is an excellent companion for bottled up emotions that can manifest as skin conditions, fevers, and emotional outbursts. Sulfur has a negative electrical charge, allowing it to absorb toxicity and destruction from your surroundings. Sulfur also brings to the light the natural disasters in your personal landscape, highlighting your shadows in order to clear the path for renewal. This opens up awareness of triggers that can cause eruption, placing consciousness in action. This card makes me think there might be a toxic family member around you that is prone to having emotional meltdowns, or this could even be a child that is prone to having severe tantrums or emotional bursts. And having all of this energy within your home can be very chaotic and tense, and it can pull on your emotional cords and make you want to desensitize yourself to everyone. And you can't fix everyone's emotional problems for themselves. You can't be their therapist or their counselor all the time, especially if you are the counselor for yourself and you don't have anyone in your family that can be that person for you. Maybe that is your partner is your counselor, but they are pulling him or her away from you, constantly taking them out, maybe leaving you behind with the child because they want to see the town, they want to see the festivities, and they kind of leave you in the dark. And that can be very hurtful. That can create a wound that you don't want to feel or be around. So this is saying be very open to communicating your needs and to allow others to understand that you need your break, to not take it personal, and that this moment that you have with your family, maybe your new family that you have created for yourselves, you want to cherish it and create your own first family's experience. And they need to be okay with you creating your own tradition, to go see your own Christmas lights, to go see your own stars, that you don't always have to do the old things that your previous family did, or whoever you grew up with that instilled traditions with you. You are allowed to start your own. Just be prepared for these individuals who don't think like that. In the animal for this week, we have giraffe, visionary. Rise above earthly matters, glide through life with grace. You are able to see the right path, stand tall in your self-worth, and love with a big heart. And you do have a big heart. The Queen of Cups has a big heart. The Ten of Cups shows compassion and having this huge heart that shows love. But if you cannot show love for yourself because the people around you are constantly taking that moment from you, you are going to feel like you're drowning around the people you used to be nurtured with. And I'm also getting this image of they're trying to remind you of where they came from, so they're dunking you back in the past. They're trying to remind you of the past. But you want to be up here instead. And your family's coming in too. Or Another different situation I am getting is you have these family members coming in and they see you in a rough place this second week. So they're trying to pull you away so you can retreat. I'm also getting that as well. But do what is in alignment for you and your family. The third week, we have the Hermit upright. The Hermit, it talks about introspection, withdrawal, prudence, insight, meditation. If you weren't able to create a separate place for yourself to retreat to in week 2, week 3 will be time to leave and pull responsibilities aside so you can withdraw and go within. You may have not been able to around the second week because you still had family over or friends, but then they finally went off on their own adventures. Maybe they returned home because they wanted to go back home for their own traditions this third week. And by doing so, you were able to go within and really ground yourself. Maybe surrounding yourself with too many different types of energies has tugged its last tug. Going to bed early or spending time alone if these people are still at your home. And don't bring your phone with you or allow yourself to be within earshot of others so that way you're not paying attention to what they're saying. So you don't accidentally jump in a conversation that wasn't even about you, because this is very emotional energy here. And if you have thin walls and maybe they were talking about somebody that was back at home, maybe they have the same name as you, or they have the same appearances as you, or maybe they even have their own child that they just had that they were around, and they were just trying to compare how happy you were, but you heard a different thing that wasn't even about you. So go to bed early, spend time alone, without your phone, or within earshot of others, because that will benefit you here. You've given everyone what they've asked for, but you know your family and your partner's family best, that because y'all are emotionally able to constantly support and nurture others, they're just going to keep coming after you, especially if you have children constantly around you. Their energy is limitless. They are an electric charge that never ceases to exist. They keep going and going and going until they drop on the floor, literally. If you planned every detail out to prevent others from doing more, how am I wording this, Spirit? Let's say you did plan something out. Nothing went according to plan, and now you feel beat up about it. An example I have here for this kind of situation, I planned out my daughter's birthday very loosely with little detail, but very big plans. And I wanted to go to the movie theaters at this time, and then I wanted to go back to my house and eat cake and open presents, and then go to the skating place later on in the evening and skate with my family. We went to the movie theaters, and it was a really big movie that had just came out 2 days prior. I did not buy the seats beforehand like I normally would. I wanted my family to be able to show up and participate. I didn't want to buy seats and not have the people there to be in the movie with us. So we showed up, and we're told that in order for us to get the movie premiere that we were wanting to see, our whole family was going to have to be separated. My children were going to have to sit in their own seats in different aisles, it didn't feel safe. I didn't want to do that. And I remembered my daughter wanted to see a different movie instead if we didn't watch that. So we asked about that movie. And they had a front row seating only. And it had 10 spaces available. I had 4 kids, my husband, and me. So we had 6 people in total. And the person at the window, with my kids running around me and not standing still, couldn't count the heads, I guess, gave us one less ticket. And I did not notice until we had sat down and we were waiting for the movie to get closer before we went into the theater. And I told my husband to go get the extra ticket because we didn't want to accidentally do something we weren't supposed to be doing. And he went to them. He comes back immediately, and the first row had been filled, and we would have had to put somebody in the disabled row. At that point, I was already frustrated with my lack of planning. I sent him back. I was very emotional. I felt defeated. And I told him he needed to get a refund. They had to pull the manager in, and they gave him a refund because we actually made it past a person who should have counted all the heads anyways to make sure we had the tickets. So he got a refund for that. We went to the mall next to the movie theater to spend time there, but I was so emotionally wrapped up in this, I could not focus on anything around me. I didn't want to eat. The kids were eating their own food, and I was sitting in this pity party within myself because I felt like it was my fault, and I didn't want to ruin my daughter's birthday. And I had this scenario play in my head where I ruined it. And my kids and my nieces were watching me on my phone, and I was grounding by coloring on my phone. Red, orange, yellow, green. I was doing the colors, and then I would start it all over. And my daughter next to me said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm grounding myself because I'm really upset and feel like I disappointed you." And my other niece in the corner says, "What are you doing? You already answered the question." You may be tired of this kind of energy too. If you've answered a question and there was people around you, but they keep asking the same question. What are you doing? What are you doing? What is next? And my daughter tells her, "I'm standing my ground." And I told her, "I'm not fighting anything. I'm grounding myself, not standing ground." Fast forward, my mother-in-law comes in, and they show up at the mall because we didn't have enough room for everyone to be in my car. And we told her that the movie didn't work out, so they came to the mall. And we walked around in the mall, and it turned out being better than going to the movies because my grandkids got to be around their pop, their uncle, and their mom, or their grandma. And she got all of the kids, even my niece, who is not biologically related to my mother-in-law, she went and got her a red panda. And that meant something to the kids. My son got his birthday present early. It just made things so much better. And then later on, we went back to the house and had cake, and then we went to the skating place, and it just was a great time then. But if I had let myself continue to be in this pity party, I would not have been able to enjoy these experiences that were somewhat unplanned but planned at the same time. And the Hermit, so that way I can draw this back in, is if you're planning every detail out and others can't pick up on their own plans, 2, going a little bit away from the story, let this be an enlightening moment. People have to be able to live their lives for themselves and be able to create their own traditions, especially if they're not in alignment with the new norm. And I'm also getting this sense of maybe you need to get away to do your own thing with your own family. Like how I was saying, leave the house where everyone is and go get coffee with your little one, or little one if you're not from the South. Go see some lights. Go pick out an outfit. Get you a gift that y'all open up together for each other. That 3rd week, leave this situation. Communicate this so that way others don't take it personal in the background, especially if it's your home and you're asking everybody to go ahead and kind of do your own thing. If you have family members who have already lived their life, it's your time to live yours and live it how you wish. These are just some insights you may come to, but do what aligns to that story you are writing and let everyone else be background noise. Crystal, carnelian. Carnelian has courage, motivation, and endurance. Powerful and bold, carnelian increases confidence in yourself, especially when you need to take center stage and use your voice effectively. A stabilizing stone, carnelian helps balance volatile emotions for long-term vitality. Believed to protect the soul in the afterlife, carnelian is a stone of the living, meant to motivate you to take chances with the life that you have. Life is meant to be lived with passion and desire, and carnelian gives you the courage to do so. Carpe diem, seize the day. The animal for this is lynx, keeper of secrets. Take time out from the world and be the observer. Nothing can deceive you when you trust your knowing. You see other secrets and keep them sacred. In silence and solitude, you will find your strength. Maybe there's a family member that's been withholding some information that you had no idea about. And this week, you are having to really go within and assess whether or not this is something you need to take control of. Or, like how I was talking, maybe you had a sick parent. Maybe they didn't come and start staying with you until you seen how they were. And it's here you were deciding, can I take on this with a new child, a new job, a new home? Does my home sustain this kind of energy? There's a secret that will be revealed. Or there is a secret that isn't being told around you. There's something being planned around you that you aren't aware of, but you can feel it. Don't let people's secret actions make you take it personal either. Allow yourself to take this time if people are planning something really big for you around here. So that way you can really enjoy it when it unfolds. Don't take it personal. People are not avoiding you. I'm hearing that as well. The last week, we are going to look at the Page of Coins. The Page of Coins talks about setting goals. It's loyalty, positivity, opportunities, and manifestation. There is hope, especially now that there's a sense of groundedness that has returned. So this week, once you have gone within, and taken action, you're able to really manifest the things that you were trying to work towards, and they work out in the end. So kind of like how in that story, I planned it out and I wanted this happy thing to come about it. It didn't work out, but I was able to get over it. And now I have this ability to return. It's seeing the need for more room, and the goal that was seen, or the thing that you need to be working towards, will help you develop a more solid foundation to be built, so it doesn't crumble the next emotional visit that comes. The next time you have a big family that comes over, you will be much more prepared for it. You will have everything that you thought you had, everything ready for everybody, and then come to find out you didn't have everything. The next visit, you will be much, much more prepared for it. This will give a fresh new start and give something to look forward to, especially when spring and summer hits. If y'all do Easter or 4th of July, whenever this reading comes in, this is basically saying you will be much more prepared for the next one. And activities will be spread throughout the home. There'll be a lot more ideas to invest in. So that way, if a specific family member had a hobby and it piqued your interest, you'll be able to maybe pick up that hobby, so that way you can relate more with them the next time you see them. You may have not had anything to talk about, but then you heard some things about them. Maybe there's the secret that they've been keeping, this hobby, this skill they have, and then you find out about it and it piques your interest, and you want to invite that into your home, so that way you can connect with them and they will then want to connect with you. I'm hearing maybe your spouse's little sister has been very hurt about this communion, this connection you have been given. And they have been trying to get in between that. And you have been trying to show your love and compassion to them, but they haven't been receiving it. By being interested in the things that they are interested in, and giving them what your spouse would give them too, they're able to see your spouse and you, and they will be more open and receptive to the love that you and your partner are giving them. Invest in yourself, especially if there was a lot of toxicity that may have came from this week, especially if you didn't ground yourself and didn't protect yourself from unintentional things that may have not been said about you. This will say invest in yourself a little bit more. Maybe there's some things that you need to work on for the long-term goal that maybe you didn't know about yourself, or by seeing other family members act a certain way, maybe you've seen something in yourself in them, and by seeing them exhibit that nature, you decided, I'm going to work a little bit more on myself, because now I understand what it is that people have been trying to tell me that I haven't been being receptive to. And going back to, once again, they're leaving their home, especially children, the nieces, nephews, the grandchildren. They're leaving their home. They're coming into a new person's home. Their mind is running rampant. They may be picking things up that aren't toys. So if you're like me and you have lots of crystals, lots of breakables, lots of things that you value that you don't wish to be destroyed, let this be a time to maybe build displays that have locking cases, or plan to put everything up that you don't wish to get destroyed, so you don't feel hurt when maybe a glass that your great-grandmother gave you breaks, or even when something very, very emotional to you that has attachment, just really something you don't want to lose, now's the time to put it up. If you are the beacon in your family, create that lighthouse source that they can turn to so you don't become drowned in the chaos. Invest in a party planner next time to take over the role of host. Maybe give someone else that is capable of being a host, whether it be your brother, your sister, an aunt, a grandmother. Let someone take over next time so you aren't the one always hosting the parties. Because your home can take a beating over time if you're constantly bringing in chaotic children who may put holes in walls. I'm not saying you have children that'll do that. My brothers were like that growing up. And my grandma never had really anything nice in her house because of my destructive brothers. My mom used to have elephants and snow globes and just glass breakables. By the time I turned 18, she didn't really have very much of that survived from our childhood. But invest in a party planner or let someone else take over the role of the host. It's okay if things you planned didn't go accordingly. What matters is your willingness to make your family happy. After all, that's really what you want. You just want to make everybody happy. That is your goal. You want everyone to be happy. And you're willing to put in the work to do so. And with this energy, it's reminding you when things don't go accordingly, don't let that beat you up. Don't forget the why behind why you bring people over, why you bring family together. That's your sense of purpose. Your family is your sense of purpose. So let's look at the crystal for this last week. Malachite. Cleanse trauma, intensity, transformation. Malachite takes no prisoners, at least with your spiritual journey. A powerful conduit for energy, Malachite cleanses the emotional body of trauma, whether this life or a past life. A teacher of emotional responsibility, Malachite asks that you take accountability for your feelings and help you release patterns that no longer serve you. Look deep within the worlds and patterns of Malachite to assess other dimensions within yourself. Explore different timelines and hidden messages. Bring your subconscious to light. Explore different timelines. Through the family that grows around you, you are able to see different aspects, things that worked for a family, things that didn't work, and you're able to understand yourself even more by doing so. The animal for this last week is horse, freedom. Your heart is pure and free. A greater purpose calls you. You have unlimited reserves of stamina and strength. You follow the winds of change and accomplish your dreams. By this week, you may have already uncluttered your home of everyone and you're starting to feel that breath of freedom. And that freedom has allowed you to really start looking forward to next month and invest in either maybe a bigger home to allow all this energy to come in, or even allow yourself to work even more so on yourself and your family. Bring in more happiness. Let's go ahead and look at your Scrabble. We'll do it week by week so you're not here waiting for me to throw everything out. Your pile had the most charms, I believe, especially for week 1. Y'all may be a little bit confused by how I spell this word. I was trying to figure out what Spirit was trying to say, but be happening, things be happening this first week. You will be a very busy bee. Things are going on. There is this need to really look into the details of everything. Make sure your passport is up to date. I'm hearing make sure you have your wallet, your ID. In case something goes askew, make sure you have everything. Pay close attention to this week here. Pay close attention to the relationships around you. But this makes me think of this union that had just recently happened. It makes me think of maybe the newfound infant that came in. But there's just so much love and celebration this first week that is worth the travel in this busy time of the month. We have a compass. Know your direction. Know what direction you want to go in before you start going. If you don't have a plan in place, let the first week be the planning you put in place. Then you will know what flight tickets to get or what type of car that you're going to need in order to travel, especially if there's a big family that's going to be traveling with you. And this is a ring with an infinity promise, and it is very thin. So remember, when you plan something, let it be kind of thin and loose so everything will work out a little bit better. But pay attention to this first week here, because things be happening. Your second week, there's even more clarification. What role are you playing right now, or role that you are constantly playing? And how can you step away from this role? How can you communicate your needs effectively so you can take some much needed rest this week? Especially if you did a lot of planning and traveling this first week. As soon as you got to point A, maybe there's jet lag and you need some Z time to retreat. Go in somebody's room and sleep, not a child's room. Maybe go to your parents' room and get some Z's. Let somebody take the little one from you. And that's what I'm getting from this. So that way you're still innocent and you're not, if you can't be playful, allow yourself to take a step away. There is some insight here for you. There's this wisdom that will come into week 2, things that you didn't know about yourself. Maybe you thought that you were capable of handling everything, and you thought, I'm not going to be the mom or dad that asks for help constantly as soon as a child. Maybe you were that aunt or uncle that, always took the nieces and nephews and then you thought that was easy. So when you had your own, it was totally something different than what you had planned. And this is asking you to allow this insight to come in so you can ask for help. Take this role off of your shoulders so that way you can get some rest. And then here we have a little deer. And the deer symbolize gentleness, grace, innocence, intuition. They're very alert. It's self-reliance and protection. But here, your wisdom is kind of a lot bigger than this. Yes, you are a very reliant being. People can rely on you. But your wisdom is asking you that the burden or the task or the situation that you are trying to carry is too much for you to carry now. It's like you can't even carry this infant. You are so tired. I say infant. Babies keep coming into the image for me. But this week, if the thing you were planning is way too much for you, take it off your hand and let someone else pick up the place. Just explain what it is that you're wanting. Write out the details. This is the time you should be writing the details out. If things go awry, then your parent or your partner can see what it is that you were trying to do and take that role off you. Third week. You're going to laugh at this because Spirit has a very, very funny sense of humor. This is exactly how it came out too. One day I'll have a camera so that way y'all can see a time lapse of me pulling and shuffling the cards. When I dropped all of these on here and then flipped them over, E-I-E-I-O, this is even more confirmation about children being around you and you wanting to escape. Nursery rhymes can be so repetitive, or there could be this saying that is being repeated within the children around you it could be unbearable. It was cute at first, but now you just want to get away from it. And you feel like you need to, in order to gain your common sense, I had to pause for a second. My own children were about to be turning on this background music in the background and y'all were about to hear it. And I had to pause and stop it before it actually happened. So you may want to step away so you can regain clarity and gain some common sense. So bats echo. So this is making me think there is just, the walls are just bouncing off all sorts of information. And you are the receptor of it and you're wanting to step away from it. Or you were this lighthouse beacon for these children and they were trying to follow you everywhere you went. Mary had a little lamb and everywhere she went, oh my gosh, you poor soul. Maybe you really do enjoy being around children. I know my sister Bobby does. But she is that beacon in my family. Children flock to her. If you ever see her at a playground, she's that type of mothering energy. She doesn't have her children yet, but she's this type of person where she could go out into a park and kids would just naturally follow her and they are like the little lambs behind her. So this is saying, before you lose your common sense, step away from the E-I-E-I-O's. Your last week's Scrabble and charms. This Scrabble is actually a blank tile. And this is how I took it. Each day is blank for us to fill in with how we wish to spend our time. Every day is a new day. So use this opportunity once everything has been cleared out and you're about to begin your next month. Invite that energy in so that way you can start rather than be the constant planner, planning everything out for yourself and others. Take each day a little bit at a time rather than a mess of energy, if that makes sense. We have the evil eye for protection. So remember how I was talking about if you have thin walls in your house, maybe there was a situation where you had another family member going through something very similar, but you worked out something different, similar names, similar clothes, similar style. You look the same, but you're not the same. This is going to protect you from that kind of energy from coming in, so that way you don't pick up something that was not meant for you. You basically rescind that energy back to source, to wherever it came, and you won't see all this lurking energy in the background since that's being covered up now. And you're going to be able to have a different perspective of those around you. So this is a charm, and it has a direction on it. And we had direction here, but the difference between this one and this one is much more loose. And it says, God does not provide a map for life, only a compass. You are in charge of your life and how you wish to choose. Oh, wow, I didn't even think about it, but that's kind of like what she has on her chest right there is the compass. You now have a direction that is more loose, more open-minded, that gives you more purpose, a goal to work towards, and you're going to be able to start that at the end of the month. And so we have these two rings here. These are promises, but let's take a look at what each promise can kind of do to us. When we make promises, remember Capricorn, when we make promises that we can't fill, or we make a promise before it's in our hand, we have to work so much harder for it. And then we start to feel like we are in a prison, trapped in the things that we said we could do for others, but then we couldn't do. And now we feel burdened by the things that we were going to do. And then this one is much more loose, and it's more bright and clear. And this is very pretty. My nails kind of match this. Matching the energy around you. What kind of energy do you want to match? Do you want to be like everybody else, or do you want your own tradition, your own promises you make, and how you create them will be up to you? Pile 3, that was your reading. I'm very appreciative of you coming in and joining in on this journey. If you felt called for another pile, you are more than welcome to go to another pile within the description timestamps below. If you are ready to leave and head out on your journey, thank you so much. If you enjoyed this content, please like. If you know somebody that is going through this exact situation, it may not be in December when you come across this video, go ahead and share this video to them, because sharing is caring. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and comment any kind of things that happen, if things do happen in this month, things you weren't aware of. Maybe y'all build a snowman, maybe. And I do have a Facebook page, Instagram. Share these wonderful things that light you up within. I'd love to hear all about it. But without further ado, I'll go ahead and let y'all go on your own journey. Remember, you have the ability to go in any direction that you wish to go. And you are in charge of the wheel that you drive, the vehicle, and who you allow to be within that vehicle with you while you go on your journey. Bye, guys. Thank you.